Hi everyone, this is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is a daily forecast for all signs. It is a shared collective reading, so you have to figure out if and where it fits in your life. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong. It just may not be your reading, but if it does fit, please feel free to utilize it in the best way you know how. This is the reading it's originally created for July 21st, Thursday. It's not solely set for that date though. If you're seeing this reading on a date that's different than that day, that's okay. If it still applies or makes sense to a situation you're working through or dealing with, please feel free to utilize it. But for those of you that follow along, this is a Thursday reading. I will reference back to the Sunday underpinning energy, so that reading populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading. So it tells us a little bit about sort of what's happening underneath, sort of the cards that you see here today. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu on any of my daily videos. In there is information on how to support the channel, how to book a private reading, what decks I'm using, just, general housekeeping stuff, so please check that out. Ways to support the channel, please hit that thumbs up button if you like the content, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I put up a new video. I do daily content. And you can share the video out, you can leave me a question or comment, all that stuff is greatly appreciated and totally welcome. So let's see what the card is for today. So we have Knight of Wands, which is action, adventure, and conquest. Interesting that it's a butterfly. I don't necessarily associate butterflies with the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is oftentimes associated, obviously it's associated with the fire signs because it is wands, and wands is the element of spirit or fire, right? But the Knight of Wands is oftentimes referred to corroborates with the sign of Sagittarius. But it can be Leo, Aries, or Sag. This is to me, it's a very determined energy. It can sometimes be a very impulsive energy. I like that this butterfly is facing to what I consider the future of the reading. I also like that they chose a butterfly here because it feels a bit softer and less intense than like the Knight of Wands normally is depicted, like say in a traditional tarot. He's like leaping forward on a horse. And that's sometimes how the Knight of Wands works. He is intense at first. He moves forward quickly. He can be deemed impulsive. Sometimes he doesn't necessarily think things through. He just kind of works on, the initial desire, right? Makes a choice, a decision, and moves forward. What I like about this is there's a peacefulness to this butterfly. And butterflies to me are about transformation. And I feel like we have a sort of a shift that's taking place in these cards, especially over this week, where we're shifting out of a situation that maybe is unpleasant for us into a situation that's more settled and, we're maybe more in control of. Underneath this Knight of Wands is the King of Cups. That's from the Sunday reading. So in the midweek, we should be experiencing that King of Cups. The King of Cups is going to be totally about that emotional well-being, compassion, staying grounded and connected to our emotions, owning them, not necessarily being fearful of them and how we feel about something. This Knight of Wands is about maybe taking action on that towards what it is that we desire. And the butterfly to me signifies that maybe an internal transformation has taken place, a settling per se, with that King of Cups underneath this. We might have settled into who we are, how we feel, what we want, and how we're going to go about getting there. I do think that this is about forward movement, obviously, because it is the Knight of Wands, but this butterfly also looks poised to take off in flight towards whatever it is that it desires or wants. And the other underpinning card that shifts into, that we're shifting into this week from Sunday's reading is that Six of Swords, right? And Six of Swords is about moving forward also to calmer thoughts, calmer communication, clearer communication, a more peaceful sense of well-being, especially from the Seven of Swords that was in the early part of the week. So to me, there is a settling that's taking place here, or within ourselves more so than anything else. And regardless of what was going on in the early part of the week or what we've been dealing with, I don't think it's necessarily having the effect or the impact that it maybe was in the early part of the week. We are ultimately now deciding in a sort of transformative way, right? Because this butterfly, and there's also a delicate nature to this butterfly, which I like, which isn't necessarily associated with the Knight of Wands. There is this sort of understanding here, or I feel like that we understand our delicate nature and our beauty and our, the work that we've put in, the transformation that maybe has taken place for us, and we're appreciative of that. And as we begin to sort of take first steps towards whatever it is that we want or desire, we will, honor, because we have not only the beauty of this butterfly, but we also have the honor and the emotional sort of awareness of the King of Cups underneath this. So I feel like there's an honoring of ourselves, maybe first and foremost, as we begin to move towards our future or our choices, our desires, the things that we want, the things that feel good. We're not necessarily denying those feelings, right? The King of Cups would not be he would be embracing our feelings or owning our emotions from a positive, compassionate place, and also from a sort of masculine place, which pairs nicely with the Knight of Wands in the sense that both of them are generally perceived as that masculine kind of protective energy, right? So we can move forward towards what it is we desire by how we feel about it, right? And owning our feelings and moving ourselves towards that place of peace is going to be sort of maybe the steps or the perspective or the choices that we make today, or how we hold ourselves today. So I think that this should be a very productive and powerful, moment for us to take ownership of maybe how we feel, what we want, and then to take action. One thing about the Knight of Wands that's particular to him is that sometimes in his impulsiveness, he can lack staying power. I don't feel that with this butterfly. I actually feel that this butterfly is a little bit more, there's a delicacy and the transformation that the butterfly, the work that the butterfly puts in and goes through to get to this point is, to me, feels more, planned out or grounded or understood and appreciated, especially with the King of Cups influence underneath this. So we're not necessarily going to be hasty in my feeling with this. We're going to take right action, and action that is in service to us, our desires, and our emotional well-being. So I like this, and I like that this is depicted by something so different than by this butterfly. Okay, so let's go to the White Light Oracle and see what that is. This is Pearl of Sahara, card number 35, which is an 8, right? And 8s are about balance. They're usually the balance that's sort of obtained after making the conscious choice or decision that the 7 represents. What I like about this is it almost looks like she's kind of pulling the butterfly along. I'm not sure of the story of Pearl of Sahara, but to me this might feel like, or to me this feels like our own higher self or spirit, or even maybe our spirit guides, angels, whatever you want to call it, kind of at work around us, prepping us. It's almost like she's creating the wind for the butterfly to take flight, right? The butterfly is here ready and poised with the ideas or the action, or willing to take the action, but there's a slight pause with this butterfly before it sets off. And I feel like Pearl of Sahara, just from an art standpoint, is sort of swirling things around for us, getting us ready, right, to move towards that balance, to move towards that peace that we see in the 6 of Swords that will be underpinning the next few days worth of cards. So there's almost a playful nature to this. It feels like these two want to interact together, work off of one another, or in sync with one another to help us to take right action and move successfully towards where we're going. So let me read you Pearl of Sahara, I hope I'm saying that correct. Card number 35. Pearl of Sahara. Taking responsibility for your experiences empowers you. Okay, right there, that's the King of Cups underneath this. And then the Knight of Wands is about taking that action. You are going to resolve an issue through spiritual inspiration and higher guidance. You will rise up in full connection to your spirit and access a wealth of divine treasure. That which has brought darkness into your world shall submit to the light and be transformed. Have courage and commitment to your awakening, for you are a precious being and can go far on the spiritual path this lifetime. Sahara is a Tibetan word meaning to arise or manifest and shine with radiant spiritual light. Sahara is the outcome of sacred alchemy. It is the manifestation of the pearl beyond price, created in the depths of the ocean, hidden in a clamshell away from prying eyes. This pearl symbolizes a beautiful blessing of unexpected grace. It began when an irritant caused the formation of a luminescent coating. The healing response to that initial intrusion resulted in an organic creation of inestimable beauty, value, and uniqueness. So this pearl can be a sacred catalyst. Now, what I'm going to say about this, I'm going to go off the book for a minute. That transformation that we see in the butterfly and being aware of that is kind of like the description of the pearl. It's also the Seven of Swords that we were dealing with in the early part of the week. Whatever was sort of giving us grief or whatever, we are transforming and moving away from, and something beautiful is emerging both emotionally and spiritually for us, is kind of the message that I'm getting from these cards. To arise spiritually, manifesting one's own priceless soul pearl, we are required to respond to an initially unwanted situation in such a way that our soul light and power is increased as a result. This soul alchemy evokes the inner pearl of radiant being. Such spiritual wisdom cannot be bought or sold, controlled, nor exploited. It is perfect, nourishing grace, always free and always radiant with light. It is the inspirational triumph of creativity and healing. In the inner work of self-transformation, we take that which appears negative and utilize it to increase our goodness. However, we need to take care not to attribute the negativities to divine will that are actually caused by humans. Human beings have free will. Without it, there could be no growth, only a following of rules. For the soul, life is something like a multidimensional art class. It is allowed to create with absolute freedom, with the understanding that it will be responsible for its creations. That opens the path for truly beautiful and blessed offerings to the collective. It also opens the path to expressions of free will that create suffering. When our choices create liberation or enslavement to pain is the response. Whether our choices create liberation or enslavement to pain is the responsibility of human beings. This body has been given to us that we may learn and grow spiritually. We are all in that process, varying in our capacities and awareness, but ultimately progressing together. If some members of our human family are in such pain they can only create further pain, that is their choice. As a group, we work to heal the causes of that pain to free them, and the rest of us from such a tragic use of free will. When rare and precious members of our human family develop such luminous awareness that exuding light... When rare and precious members of our human family develop such luminous awareness that, exuding light, they call us into greater peace and happiness, then those of us who are able to receive and share what they offer do so for the benefit of all. From a deeply pained place of confusion, some souls cry out in anger toward the divine, wondering why there is disease and suffering and cruelty on this planet. We need to understand the difference between taking an ego-created situation and working with it so that it can become divine, and believing the ego-created situation was divine to begin with. Spirit does not wish you or any creature to become sick or to suffer. It is in its infinite resourcefulness and love, with full respect for your free will, which enables you to grow according to your own pace and purpose. Spirit will provide path after path of healing resolution. It is up to us when or if we answer that call. This oracle has emerged in your reading because you have the capacity to become a light bearer. Safeguard your energy, yet trust that the light within is strong enough to see you through any struggle and eventually transform it into a precious pearl of sacred empowerment. You have wisdom in your divinely alchemical heart. You shall arise with dignity. The healing process. Place one hand on your heart. Feel your connection to yourself in this present moment. When you are ready, say the following aloud. I assume full responsibility for myself and my life path. I call upon the enlightened heart of the universe to assist me to manifest my divine potential through grace, mercy, and love for the greatest spiritual benefit of all beings. Sense the wisdom and power of your heart. It has the ability to guide you from within and to receive infinite wisdom and healing energies from the universe. Sense that although you walk your own path, you're not alone. Finish the process by again connecting your hand to your heart and feeling what it would be like for you to only make choices that resonated with your heart. You have completed your healing process. Now, let's look at the hidden truth. I can't reach out. I'm going to say this. Yesterday's message about not being able to conduct intimacy, and then this I can't reach out, I feel like these are messages, these don't feel predominantly like they're coming from us or our higher selves. They almost feel like they fall back to the perceptions or the stances of whatever our Seven of Swords issue was in the early part of the week. Does that make sense? So there might be a situation or a person or something that we've been dealing with that we can't make sense of, and this person or this situation can't alter itself. So therefore, it produces within us an opportunity to transform, to become like this butterfly, to become like this pearl of, is it Sarah, right? Sorrow. It's like to take something that's negative and like transmute it in a way, right? Yesterday's card was sort of like, I'm unable to be emotionally intimate or something like that. I can't do intimacy, and this is I can't reach out. So my feeling is that the cards are trying to tell us that the answer is within us rather than within the solution of the situation or the other person's behavior. Does that make sense? And we may need to leave them there, because I can't reach out is a very much a absolute statement, right? So in other words, if we're looking to the other party or to the situation to heal us or fix us or answer our questions, it's not available to us. That's my feeling. And so we need to it's available to us. The answers are within. The answers are within our own spiritual growth, our own transformation, rather than trying to seek it from an outside source. That's my feeling with this reading today. I hope that makes sense, you guys. That is your reading. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave me a comment if these videos are making sense to you. I hope they are. These decks are a little trippy together, but the readings have been interesting. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this may shift or change. And remember, we are moving to the piece of the Six of Swords. So hang in there. Have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.